selection. The law of assumption. I feel that this whole focus on selling manifestation as a technique, as a commodity, that feels very old hat to me. It doesn't feel current. It doesn't feel up to speed, because people talk about manifestation in the last 10, 15 years, especially online here in social media, as though it's some kind of hobby you do, or it's something you do, like cleaning your house, or like an activity, right? Where the truth is, we are selecting, aka manifesting, all the time. Every moment of every day, all the time. Our energy, our frequency is co-creating with creation. We are literally dancing with life. Whether that's a slow, sad dance, or whether that's an exhilarated, smooth flowing waltz, is entirely down to your focus and your frequency and where you feel you're at in your life right now. But yes, we can, of course, as intelligent beings, we can redirect the energy and we can focus, right? And when we do, and when we can turn a frequency around that perhaps is feeling heavy and down, and we bring it back up into the light, wow, we get to actually physically experience our power, our intention, our alignment with the divine. We get to really have a taste of how we are divine, we are God in a physical form, having this interdimensional experience. So I just find it funny, and I found it funny since all this manifestational techniques and do this, follow this formula, and commoditizing this idea that manifestation is something that you sometimes do and you sometimes don't. Like, I've heard younger people saying things like, oh, well, I haven't been manifesting recently, so, and I'm going, but you are manifesting. Literally, when you're sitting on your bed doing nothing, you're manifesting, because your thoughts, your emotions, your energy is always radiating out information. You are a walking, talking information tower. You're giving off signals, you're giving off frequencies all the time. So it's about becoming conscious of the energy and the frequencies. Now, I am not a fan of bypassing and ignoring emotions or energy because it scares you, or it makes you feel, uh-oh, I'm dipping into a negative space. I do, however, personally practice being able to shine the light of consciousness on that energy and saying, hang on a minute, do I want to continue down this road with this thought? And if it doesn't feel good to me, and if I have enough energy in my body, if my frequency is strong, you can very easily take a different route, a different roadway. There are times where we get so overwhelmed with life, with external 3D events. People go through divorces, there's deaths, there's moving house, there's all these big milestones in our life. And do I believe that we should pretend that we're not feeling? I think that would be such a waste of the trouble that the God you, your soul you, went through to become a physical being, to have a human experience. Like, I don't think it's good to deny our humanity and to deny the physical experience. However, like all truths, there's a paradox, there's a caveat. It's like Bashar talking about all things change except, you know, the laws of creation. It's funny how there's always a paradox in there with these spiritual truths, which I kind of dig, to be honest. But it's like, selection is it's natural to us. It's organic. It's why we came here, to have this buffet of life spread in front of us, and for our souls and our humanity to combine in coherence and say, okay, do you know what? I'd really like to experience that, and I'd like to sample that. And you can try things and go, actually, that's not for me, you know. It's like you might decide to become friends with someone and then change your mind because you realize actually that person's energy doesn't quite gel with mine. It's as simple as that. But we get so convinced of the reality of the outside 3D world, and we think it's real. We really, I mean, this stuff feels real, right? It feels so tangible that we become amnesiacs and we forget the power of selection, and that we are indeed selectors, we are co-creators, we are, for want of a better word, manifestors. We are. And unfortunately, if we bury our trauma, if we ignore our body's impulses and directions, we can start to think that we're not. I've heard people say, oh, I tried that whole manifestation thing, it just didn't work for me, you know. And I'm going, but it's by default, like, it's happening whether you're conscious of it or not. So you may as well become conscious of it. You may as well discipline it and refocus it so that it serves you, so that it helps you and others to have a better life experience, right? But again, when we get burdened with our wounds, with our pain, with our grievances of life, we can start to think there's something wrong with us. We can start to feel like, well, how come I haven't been able to create that experience? And that's where we can really suffer, you know, and I speak from personal experience. It's where we can really, really suffer. And I always say, pain is a part of life. It's part of the physical dimension, but suffering is optional. So if we're suffering, there's some part of our ego construct, our personality, that is selecting and choosing that suffering. Now that's a hard pill to swallow when you're going, absolutely, like, your ego is going to want to defend that, you know, and go, absolutely not. Like, why on earth would I choose this horrific suffering that I'm experiencing? But really, the pain might be, you know, part of it, but the suffering it's a different story to the pain, you know. And this is where the pain body comes in and frequency comes in, because our frequency is always firing off signals to the universe of where we are and what we believe what we are eligible to experience and what we feel we deserve or that we are worthy of experiencing. So, you know, I'm not trying to simplify selection, because I think there's plenty of people who do that already. But at the same time, we can also really overcomplicate it, and we can make it into this very, very complex thing that, causes us to get lost in the sauce, which is such a pity, because life is here to be fully lived, and it truly is like, it's like, I'm just being shown the image of you showing up at this beautiful restaurant, an all-you-can-eat restaurant with a beautiful spread, a beautiful buffet, and you're standing there and hours are going by and days are going by, and you're looking around and everybody else choosing their, oh, this is such a beautiful spaghetti, oh my God, try this pasta, it's amazing. And you're standing there waiting, going, well, who's going to serve me the pasta, or who's going to serve me, oh, I'd love some of that chocolate cake. Is someone going to bring that over to me? Where actually it's a self-serve buffet. It's actually a self-serve restaurant. That's what life is. Life is actually, or maybe not even self-serve, but you need to tell the waiter, I would like some of that chocolate cake, please. And the waiter is like your angels or the universe, or you fill in the higher power blank, whatever you want to call that. So it's very interesting. I was very good as a kid at naturally selecting things. I seem to have a proclivity to it, and I was aware of it in a very tangible way in my mind. Like, I would actually say, oh, I'm going to create a bike, I'm going to manifest, or didn't use that word, I'm going to experience being friends with that person. And I would just meditate I would quieten my mind, go up to my room, and I'd be still, and I would just see it, I would visualize it. And this is like, I have done this so many times in my life, and I'm actually really, really good at it. But it's funny how as we move through time, when we accumulate grief, loss, death, divorce, whatever, unemployment, if we buy into the reality of those things, as in the 3D version of them, not the energetic, because the energetics is always true and real in the moment as you're experiencing it, and not to deny your feelings, because as I said, I really don't think it's a good idea to bypass and suppress and numb things, because I just think they'll come back up in some other shape or form. But when we place too much power externally, when we place our power in an external fashion, where we've misplaced our alignment in something outside of ourselves, and we've given it all this power, that's when we get lost in the sauce of reality, of the 3D. And that's where we start to feel our confidence get chipped away, we start to feel powerless, we start to question everything, question life, where really life is actually, it's an inbuilt mechanism. It has its own automatic unfoldment if we are allowing it. Oftentimes we stand in our own way, and we actually, and we keep pointing out. We're actually blocking our own path, but we're pointing the finger out, going, no, it's him, it's her, it's my mother, it's my sister, we can't see that we are the actual obstacle that's preventing this thing called life from pulling us forward into the next phase. So I want to focus on selection. Like I said, I want to go back to the way I did it as a child. I want to just go back to the basics of that, strip down all the complicated complexity lessons or misinformation that we've all kind of, you read so many books, you watch too many videos. I think that this year, especially 2025, like, we're just overwhelmed with, it's all just being thrown at us in a very big way. And it's mad that we have to actually now, in today's world, we have to consciously choose not to be bombarded with information, with noise, which is crazy to me. It's like we didn't even consent to this. We didn't even consent to this bombardment, and yet it's totally normalized and totally considered part of normal life now. That's a whole other topic. But I just want to, I really like this idea of like being an empowered selector and selecting what I want, and allowing that to be the victor, to trump everything else. And I was really good at that when I was younger. So, you know, I was really good at getting into my imagination and letting my imagination totally entertain me and amuse me with the fantasy or the vision of what I wanted. And you see, that was enough, because I wasn't doing it. A lot of the time I wasn't doing it thinking, I'm going to do this manifestation technique, because that wasn't the language, that wasn't the idea, that wasn't the consciousness. It genuinely was childlike amusement and enjoyment, or teenage fantasy. And then life would conspire and bring those people or places or things to me, and I'd be like, oh, wow, I was only imagining this, I was only fantasizing about this, and here we are, you know. And I just like the idea of coming back to that. And so I'm going to do some videos on just the simplifying or the more interesting ideas around selection and being a selector. And there's, you know, I want to experiment. I want to get back to experimentation with energy. I want to have fun with it. I want to try out some of the ways of being, because you see, this is the thing. If we turn it into a technique, if we turn it into this activity, again, we're putting our power outside of ourselves. So it's more about, I'm deciding that this is how I select this experience to go. So I did this recently. I had a really big appointment. It was a major stress on me, and I got so sick and tired of worrying about it that I just got to a point where the angels and I were like, okay, this is how this is going to go. This is going to be the outcome. The law of assumption, right? Neville Goddard. I mean, when I listened first to Neville Goddard many years ago, I was like, oh my God, this guy really gets it, you know? And he's simplified it, and he's actually, I think he gets to the meat and bones of co-creation, of selection. So, yeah, I want to, like, I'm choosing now. I mean, I remember back in the day, in my 20s, I would like, I had fun every night writing out lists of things, the way I wanted to experience them, or even physical things I wanted to have in my life. I remember I needed a plinth, like a massage table, to see clients, to do angel healing, and like the next day I get a call from a friend saying her twin sister is no longer doing her massage course, and she's stuck with this beautiful big plinth, but it's taking up space in her house. Would I want it? And I offered money. No, you're doing me a favour, doing my twin a favour, take it away, you know, we'll actually drop it off at your house. Like, it was that quick and that simple. So I think it's the power of decision, really, isn't it? Forget about all the techniques and the constant checking. Is this technique working? Is this manifestational routine working? It's about decision. It's about choice, and it's about deciding. And once I decided that this situation was going to go, this was going to be the outcome, and it was going to be done and dusted and wrapped up, that's what happened. So, but you've got to be genuine. You've got to be honest and real that you are deciding this. And if you keep checking back or you keep flip-flopping with doubt, and remember, doubt is just 100% belief in a reality you do not prefer. That's all that doubt is. That's from Bashar. It's 100% belief in a reality that you don't want. But you can redirect that 100% belief, pivot it to what you do want, which is what I did in this situation. I gave up the fears and the worries, and I was like, right, this is how this is going to go. And I even said it to my friend. I was like, no, I've decided. This is how this is going to conclude. And it did. So just some things to think about there. Maybe you've fallen into a default pattern. You've lost your way with all this co-creative, manifestational, law of attraction stuff. And sometimes we just need to strip it down back to basics and simplify. I really believe if we can simplify things, then we're more inclined to engage with it. We're more inclined to be conscious of it. Because again, we're always engaging, but it's about where we're conscious and where we're focused. So just ask yourself, where am I focused right now? Am I focused on a doubt reality? 100% belief in a reality I do not prefer, I do not want? Or am I focused on a reality that wouldn't it be nice if, this would be so cool if, and that's a lovely little game you can play. Wouldn't it be nice, or again, it's back to being that child, that inner child, that teenager that's like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if that guy asked me out? Wouldn't it be nice if I got that job and I bought that beautiful whatever? Play with creation, play with creative energy, and you'll be amazed what shows up. So do that, come back to this video, and then drop it in the comments how you played with some of these ideas and concepts, and how when you lightened up on it as well. That's another key thing. If it's heavy, if it's laden with fear, it ain't gonna happen, because it's or it'll happen in the way the fearful vision of it happens. And we've all been there with that. Like, I think as you move through time and space, there comes a time where you actually, you don't realize it, but you've unconsciously selected something you don't want. So this is about redirection. Selection and redirection, they rhyme. There you go. That's a great way to remember that. So select and redirect, my friend. The light in me recognizes the light in you.